This is Sean.
This is Kevin.
And this is the One Other Thing.
Welcome.
So, thanks for joining us today. And we've got quite a bit to talk about, as usual. Just want to start off, though, and say this is not the continuation of the top 100 games to play before you die. This is just the weekly show. We are going to get back to that very soon, and I think we left off on 30, so we are getting down there. It's just taking a lot longer than we thought. So
I thought it'd be one episode.
It
was not.
I thought it'd be part of one episode, to be honest with you, and here we are. So, thanks for those of you that are listening to that, and again, we'll get to that real soon, but we wanted to continue to do our weekly episodes, and that's what today is. So before we jump into all of the topics, and again, we got a lot to talk about, how do they get in contact with us? How do they reach out to us, Kevin?
Several ways. You can email us at toot@tootcast.net. You can find all the relevant information on our website at tootcast.net. And also, please follow us at tootcast at Twitter.
Nice. So we're starting to hear from some folks. We'll talk about that a little more a little later. But we really love to hear from everyone. So please keep those emails and those reviews and comments and whatnot coming. We love to hear from you. That being said, I'm going to start with something I know you wanted to talk about, and that would be No Man's Sky. I think we touched on it a little bit in one of the previous episodes, but there's just been a big release of some kind for it?
There's been a release, so I have been playing No Man's Sky off and on since it was released, and it is like leaps and bounds better than it was 3 years ago. 2016, almost 4 years ago when it came out.
Yeah, I remember it had a lot of negative press.
Yeah, because it did nothing they promised. So they have slowly just kept hacking at it, several patches a year with adding new content, things to do, exploration. So I decided to load it up one more time, and one thing I never did was complete the game. I never got to the center of the universe, which was one of the possible outcomes. You don't have to. That was the original outcome. I did want to know what it was like. So I played it, and this time I played it on my PC instead of VR, because I just figured it might be quicker, because I'm like, when I play VR, I'm just more sightseeing than I am playing games.
Sure. Yeah, you lose focus.
I lose focus. So I played it, and I looked, and I've only played 15 hours, my last VR save. I looked at 15 hours, and I was like, what the heck? So let me just try a single playthrough and see how long it would take me to play through the entire game, and just with the laser focus on completing it.
Yeah, no side quests. We're just doing missions. We're getting right through it. Yep.
I did take a look at the Desolation patch that came out, because they give you some derelict freighters to explore.
It sounded neat. Yeah, it sounded like a horror element.
It is a horror element. It wasn't exciting as I thought it was, but maybe I only went to one freighter, so maybe it gets more and more scary as I went across. But right now, it's just pretty much a dead ship with a couple security bots. So currently, the jury's still out whether that is an awesome update. But as far as the rest of the game goes, the space battles are awesome. The taking over your own freighters is awesome. Boarding ships, landing on other planets is all great. Then there's a mystery you have to unfold as you get further and get better and better technology to go to the center of the galaxy.
Now, are you online for all of this? I mean, if I'm playing, can I run into you on some desolate world?
You can. There's actually a hub that you meet up with people. So there is called an anomaly that you can call anytime, and it pretty much exists everywhere simultaneously.
Okay.
So you call it up, it shows up on the screen, and you board it, and you see all humans in there. It's all other players. And you can join missions together and then go out adventuring.
Okay, so you have to actually go into multiplayer, though. So when you're just playing this playthrough, you're in actual single player. It's just you. I can't show up and attack your character.
I could be wrong, but I have not tried it, so I don't know. Okay. For the most part, the universe is so big.
Yeah, that you're just not going to run into
It's somebody. Actually, it's very low, unless you know the exact planet the person's on. I hear that if you know the exact planet someone's on, you could probably make it there. But if you look at the map of this game, it is expanding. It takes forever to see the entire map. It's billions of stars and planets.
Yeah.
So to find somebody else is difficult. I think it can be done, but I think that's why they gave you this anomaly, so you can go there to meet up.
Yeah.
And then you're at the same place, and you leave the anomaly, and you're in the same general star cluster.
Gotcha.
So you can go exploring that way together and do missions. And the missions are all over the place. They're like any other, RPG game where you go out, you're collecting something, rescuing somebody.
Now, would the multiplayer be fun? I know you haven't tried it yet, but your opinion. Would we go tromping around in space and doing these kind of things?
Yeah, it could be fun, very much. Yeah, space battles, you go in dogfights, you different weapons, and it's cool. It's has a lot going for it now. It really does have a lot going for it.
I've added it to my list, but I know this one goes on sale. It's just not there yet, so it will sit on my list until it does, basically. Won't be long, though.
So I did make it to the center of the galaxy.
Okay.
And at this point, everybody knows what it is, but I'm not going to say what it is anyways, just in case you haven't played it yet.
I definitely don't know what it is. Well, I know at the center of the galaxy.
Yes, but what happens when you get there and why you go there, it was very interesting. And it does play on a lot of the stuff that current tropes about what is existence, are we in a simulation?
Sure.
Stuff like that. So it doesn't necessarily answer those questions, but it poses all these questions and makes you start thinking. So it's one of those kind of games like, oh, what is this all about? Which I find fascinating.
Well, just for clarity's sake, if we are in the Matrix, I'm fine right here.
Yeah.
I've seen what the alternative looks like, apparently. You can just leave me.
Yeah, there's a character in the game where you actually have a choice, which is very reminiscent of a Black Mirror episode. You have a choice of this entity that you meet. You can decide whether, and you realize that his mind is just he's a computer program. At this point, he used to be living, but now he's a computer program.
Okay, yeah, now he's an AI.
So you can choose to just wipe him out, or you can choose, without his knowledge, uploading into a virtual world, so you can continue thinking he's alive. So it's very interesting choices, and you can choose either way.
Well, can you talk to him?
You could talk to him.
Oh,
you could talk to him.
I would ask him what he wanted.
I didn't when I played through. I just did it.
And what did you do?
I uploaded him into the computer program, and he would send me messages periodically throughout the game, and act like he goes, "Oh, I can't wait for us to finish our mission together, and I can't wait for us to meet up again." So he's all in this delusion that he's alive, and he's not.
Yeah.
So I find that fascinating that you have that choice in this game.
And do you think that's the better? And this is we're going to go deep on this one.
Yeah.
Because this is Life of Pi kind of stuff.
Yes.
So do you think that was the choice to make? Like, is that what you would choose?
In real life, no, not at all. But in a video game, I wanted to keep talking to this guy.
Well, I pretty much explore all sorts of options. In fact, in video games, I think that's a large part of the point, is you do things that you just wouldn't dream of doing normally.
Yes.
You've seen me play video games. I do not go on homicidal killing sprees. It's just not my thing.
What? What about Outer Worlds? You kind of did that in there.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In real life.
Yeah. Oh, in real life you don't.
In real life,
that.
I don't go on homicidal killing sprees. No, in every video game, I go on.
Yeah.
I kill everything that moves.
Everything that moves must go.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all evil.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's with that, that scenario of the basic choice is: do you want to know the truth, which is not pleasant, or do you want to live in the fantasy?
Yes.
And I just said I want to stay plugged in. And the reality is, because I'm going to choose the truth every time.
Yes.
I want the
worse
than bad. But Life of Pi, no, I don't want to hear your crappy story. I don't want to hear your made up, because the whole premise of that movie, which was a very pretty movie, was, do you want to know the awful truth, or wouldn't you rather this elaborate fairy tale I made up? And it's like, my God, would I rather the elaborate fairy tale?
Yeah.
If it were true.
If it were true, yeah.
But I have to know the truth. It's not that I want to. It's this compulsion. Yeah. So.
But the story in this game does play out, and I'm not going to let you know what happens, since you will play the game eventually, because I'll take away some of the mystery. But it does play out. So it's not like a quick 30-second thing. There is an entire story attached to whatever direction you take.
Okay.
So
and does it actually end, or do you keep playing afterwards?
You have a choice.
Oh, that's fascinating.
You have a choice.
All right.
Yep, you can end it all or keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, it's. I find it a fascinating game, and I think I'm going to play again. And I noticed too, when I did the straight. Remember, I said that I played 15 hours of VR, of just roaming around, doing nothing.
Oh yeah, looking at pretty things. Yeah.
I looked at my save game, and for me to complete it, took 15 hours.
Oh, that's hysterical. That's great. So there you go. There's your choice, folks. You can plug into VR, play this game, and get nothing accomplished, or you can go and find the center of the universe, or the galaxy, really.
Yeah, and it's a pretty game. They definitely enhanced the textures over the years, so it's just an amazing experience to go into another star system, warp into it, and then you see a planet that, oh, this is a winter planet. It's all cold, and you just fly to it, and it's super realistic where you can't fly in impulse power to that planet. It has a timer. It'll take you 3 hours at the current speed to get there. So you have to go faster, light speed, just to get to the planet in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, that's great.
So I find that part really fascinating, how they added so much distance between. You can feel the distance between everything.
Yeah.
So
well, you sold me on it. I mean, it sounds like the manufacturers
Hello Games. Yeah.
Sounds like there's a labor of love for them, and they're still putting a lot into it.
Yeah, because none of these patches or updates or anything cost anything. They're just say, hey, I think they screwed up, and they've been making amends for it ever since. And it's like, okay, guys, I'd be willing to pay for No Man's Sky 2.0 at some point. It's all right. I forgive you.
You've done your penance with the community. Well, that's
yes.
That's cool though. I always love when they do that, when they just keep maintaining it. And I mean, I understand that at some point they're going to go start looking at No Man's Sky 2 and whatever comes next in the either the series or the next games. But I always like the companies that still kind of have a life cycle for it, and they still maintain it long after. It may not even be updates anymore. It may just be maintenance updates, if you will. It may not be even new content after a while, but years later when they're still doing those maintenance updates, I love that, because the community is still alive somewhere.
Yes. And I do highly recommend another independent developer that made a game that in playing, it's the same similar game as No Man's Sky, but it's much more condensed. It's called Subnautica, and it takes place, and it was just a small indie developer. It was it ended up being a huge hit. And this is basically a survival story but instead of taking place in outer space, you crash land in the ocean. Mm-hmm. So you first off is how do I get supplies? Just like No Man's Sky, your ship's broken, you got to figure out how to fix it, stuff like that with the materials. It's the same thing, but all underwater. And then you got to figure out what's on this alien world you're on and how do I get off. But it's a much it's a large game, but it's not as large as No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky takes you 15 hours just to get from one side to the other. But this one, you could probably make it to most sides of the map with once you get the right gear within 10 minutes. So it's a much smaller world. It's beautiful. Cannot play in VR. I told you before that I don't get motion sickness very easily. Yeah. But swimming in VR gives me motion sickness.
I would imagine.
I can't do it. So I played it without outside of VR. It was much easier. Much easier for me to play.
That's interesting. I never even thought about that, toggling between the two.
That's why I love these companies like Subnautica and No Man's Sky, where you're using the same save game and you can say, hey, I want VR. Hey, I don't.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Options are always a good thing.
So I do recommend Subnautica if you like No Man's Sky style of it is considered a survival game. All those survival elements in both games can be shut off, where you don't have to worry about getting hungry or thirsty and stuff like that. You can play mostly just trying to build and survive in hazardous environments in both games. So these games are very similar, but they're different. They have different endings, different. I can tell you at this point their endings are really different. The reasons for everything is different. The themes are different. And it was very fun. So I completed that game several months ago and twice.
Wow. Okay, so I've heard of Subnautica. I have not played it.
I think it's pretty cost effective now.
I did add. I can't help it. I'm cheating.
Yeah.
I did add No Man's Sky to my wish list though, so I can keep an eye on it.
If you ever get it, I would love to meet up somewhere in the universe with you.
Yeah, that'd be neat. That would definitely be neat. But actually, under the heading of being cheap though, I paid full price for a game.
It's not like you.
You recommended. I thought I'd give it a try, and that would be the Stanley Parable.
Oh.
And so...
God, that one's...
It was... I'm giving it a 7. I'm just going to jump right out to it. It was good, and for the record, a 7's not bad. It's just not like, holy crap, you got to tell everybody. I could see why people would rate it way higher.
Yep. But how many endings did you find?
A lot.
A lot? Okay.
And this is actually part of the reason, I guess, spoiler alert if you've not played Stanley Parable, because we're going to spoil the hell out of it about now. It's basically right off the rip, it's not your standard game.
No, it's not.
Right off the bat. So, the twists and turns were good, but they weren't completely out of the blue either. I mean, you just knew right off the bat. What I'm very proud of about this game, I really feel like I beat this game. Because one, I definitely did not get all the achievements, not even close. Because
Yes.
one of them takes 5 years to get in real time. Not
Oh,
kidding.
I'm not sure. I don't think I went for that one.
Actually, I'm going for it right now.
Yeah, the hardest. Yeah, you're just not gonna play it for 5 years.
That's literally how you get the achievement.
That
you
is
don't play the Stanley
awesome.
Parable for 5 years.
I wonder when the last time I launched it up.
So
I'm
I
gonna have to
am
look.
now actively working on that achievement.
The hardest one for me was jumping out the window because you can't jump in the game.
No, but you can climb up the chair and crouch.
It's difficult. Yeah.
It was difficult,
Yeah.
but I got there.
You got there.
There's actually 2 endings there. I only got one of them.
Oh.
I was too lazy to go back. But you thought you'd stump me on
Yeah,
that
I
one,
know.
didn't
I
you?
thought, like, did you do the window scene?
What made me proudest was the fact that to get to the... I don't know if it's the good ending, but the ending where you basically turn off the device.
Yes.
I'll try to be a little vague.
Yeah.
Not ruin everything. That was the last thing I did. And that's why I'm proud.
Yeah, because you're like...
Because that means I exhausted every way to do exactly opposite what I was being told.
Yes.
At every turn. And that's literally how I
Yeah.
played through it. And he's like, oh, you should take a left. And I said, right it is.
Yeah.
And literally broke the rules. The one that made me laugh, though, and it's probably fairly obvious in hindsight, but it made me happy that they did it, was when you jump off the lift. The moving lift.
That one I did. Yeah, that was the first thing I did in the game.
Oh, is it really?
That was
That's
the
great.
first thing I did because I did as many endings as I could before looking them up.
Oh, yeah.
And that's I was like, oh, I'm just gonna jump off this.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because, I jumped off it at some point. I went up the first time. And that actually made me happy, too. Because, you got the phone, and you basically have the choice of answering it or not. And then I went a different way. And I love that. But really, that one, that jumping off that ledge and having them not kill you for it and being able to go that route, I thought was pretty neat. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it was neat. It just didn't... and it was definitely unique. It was definitely... I've never seen a game quite like that. But...
I thought you would enjoy it just for the fact that the game doesn't reward you, but it rewards you for doing nothing it tells you to do.
yeah.
And that seemed like your personality is like, oh, you don't tell me what to do. I do what I want to do.
That's why... And I love being me for that reason.
Yes.
Literally, I'm not kidding. The follow his instructions, do exactly what he says. That's the last thing I did.
Yes. Just to see what it's like, yes.
Yeah, I just went every other way because that's how I learn, unfortunately. I need to do it the wrong way to realize, okay, now I can go forward knowing the right thing.
I think it's tough to call it a game as much as an experience.
Yeah, it's something, yeah. It is something.
I think it's worth playing once. I think it should be on our top 100 list if it's not there.
Oh, yeah, and I paid full price, meaning it was like $15. It wasn't,
15?
Yeah, it wasn't much.
Yeah.
It wasn't... Well, I'm cheap. We know this. So, yeah, and I'll say this. Worth every cent. I did get that much money's worth of enjoyment out of it. No question about it. I do not think I'll go back to it because I'm working on that achievement.
Yes.
But maybe in 5 years.
Yeah, it's not one of those games I don't have no need to play it again because once you complete most of the endings, you're like...
You know who Kaiser Soze is. You can never not know who he is.
Yes. There were some interesting endings I had when I looked up. I saw and I'm like, oh, was kind of different. This funky ending. But
I did look them up, but honestly, I'd done almost all of them by the time I looked them up. Some were just a pain right in the butt. I wasn't going to do the 4-hour freaking game with the baby.
Oh, yeah, no.
The baby burned right away.
Yeah,
But
done.
anyway. All right, so I wanted to share that one. Wanted to bring up something that we kind of briefly touched on anyway, but that would be with the PS5 that's coming out.
Oh.
So we're anxiously waiting for those to go on sale with the pre-order.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to pre-order this month sometime.
Yeah, I'm banking on you to remember to text me when you pre-order it, so I can do so shortly after. But I read somewhere that Sony may have filed a patent for the PS5 Pro.
Oh, yes.
Which, of course, gets me thinking, because the only thing I hate more than spending money is spending money twice.
Yes.
So I don't want to buy the PS5, and then when the PS5 Pro comes out, I have to buy that because I'm me, and I want it. But what are your thoughts on that? I think it's too long a life cycle to wait.
I don't remember, and I was going to look up when the PS4 Pro came out.
Like how long a time span that was between original release and don't get me wrong, I made up my mind. I'm still pre-ordering the PS5, so it really has no bearing. I'm just curious for anybody that's listening and somehow cheaper than me. Good for you if you are.
Let's see, the PlayStation 4 was released, so it looked like it's about 3 years between the PlayStation 4 and the Pro.
Okay, all right.
So
I got 3 years to save up for my PS5 Pro.
yeah, and then, do what I did, give away or sell your original PlayStation 4.
I love it, yeah.
That's what I would do. And I'm really looking forward to the possible leaks of that.
If I was really smart, I'd just wait, and in 3 years I'd have a free PS5. But I'm not going to.
True. I tend to do that. I tend to give away all my stuff because I did give my PlayStation 4 to my nephew.
You've given me countless things, yeah.
Yeah, when it's technology.
When I say it's rewarding to be your friend, I mean that quite literally.
Yeah, I like to share my technology. Yes. So when my technology gets like a year or two old, I'm done with it.
Yeah, well, I still haven't gotten a jump starter yet. I mean, what the hell? Just
I know.
Complete strangers, but that's a whole nother story for another day.
Yeah, I got a problem.
So, well, there it is. I wanted to make sure we shared that with our people out there, though, that the PS5 Pro may or may not be coming. It's not confirmed, but it may be coming, but it's not worth the wait, most likely.
Yeah, I would say that if you want to play the games, there are going to be a lot of games that release or near release that's going to be worth playing now.
Yeah, and I hear the backwards compatibility is supposed to be. Yeah. I mean, I read something today. It was actually that said Sony said something to the effect of while we're working on the top 100 games, and they're basing that on amount played for the PS4, making sure they're compatible. They're saying you can put any PS4 game in there and it'll work.
Oh, it's
just
okay.
They're not. They can't speak to it being 100% compatible
until they test it and verify, basically.
Bingo. So, but that's promising.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to. I hope day one when you order it, you can. I don't know. The leak is whether you can take those white panels off and put black ones on or stylized ones on. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's true or not. That'd be cool because I'd rather if I have to buy the white edition, which is fine, but it won't match with anything I have. It doesn't match my decor.
It's going to clash with your feng shui.
It's going to, it's totally clash with my feng shui. I want a black one if I can, or something with a cool logo on it, or red and black, or something that combination. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm going to make a commitment to you right now, my friend. If all we can do is get white ones, I will buy you some stickers.
Some stickers, yeah.
I will buy them for you.
Yes, I've done that with systems before. Yeah.
I will. I'm good for it, buddy. I will get you some stickers, and we will solve this problem.
Yeah, white. I don't know.
We have the technique. Yeah, no, I hear you though. I'm not.
It's like click dust, please.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Precisely. To what end? I'd love to know how dusty it is down there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's why I don't care how big or small the PS5 is. Yeah. I'm going to basically tuck it away somewhere that I rarely go to and never look at. So it's just not a problem.
Yeah. The thing's supposed to be huge, though. That's why I want it to be better colors.
I am worried about fans. My wife does go crazy when, my last tower that I had, that thing sounded like a jet was taking off when I booted that thing.
Yeah, I was worried because they do have a cooling system in it, so I'm not sure how loud it could be. Because I remember the original Xbox was pretty loud, so we'll see.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. Liquid cooling would be cool.
Oh.
No pun intended, but...
my PC is liquid cooled, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Nice. I wouldn't mind the liquid system. I just haven't switched yet. But then again, I'm going all laptops because I've got this friend that likes to play games. It's very complicated. We'll talk about it sometimes.
Yeah.
So I do have another game I want to talk about, though, and I think we brushed on it briefly. And it's one I believe you pre-ordered already, and I will be pre-ordering, I suspect. I even think it's on sale this weekend, so I might be doing it this weekend. I'm going to buy it through GOG, and that game would be Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, starring Ted Theodore Logan.
That's right, exactly. I mean, seriously, it's sci-fi. It's got freaking Ted in it. Yeah. I mean, how can that be a bad thing?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Once I knew Keanu was in it, it was like, oh, crap, I'm just buying that game, I guess.
And apparently plays the role of the Obi-Wan Kenobi. and that's just awesome.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, so he goes, dude,
why not?
is now going to guide me? Oh, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, it's Point Break. He's come full circle.
Yes, he's come full
He
circle.
is now the Bodai. I mean, it's just...
Yes. When we last met, I was but a learner.
Yeah, he was but the grasshopper, but look how the tides have turned.
That's
Boy.
awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to play the game. Everything I see, I love the philosophy.
Well, that's what I want to talk about, actually. And I did read, actually, a November release. Read that this week.
Yeah, November release. It's going to be around Charlize's birthday, which is great. I already warned her that I may not participate in birthday festivities.
That'll be great. You're having your own birthday this year?
Yes,
but,
just so you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a major milestone for her, so, you know, do you need... Because I think it was coming out on her birthday.
No, I get it. I mean, you weigh them out. Like, my wife's birthday, Keanu. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think she understands.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, she gets it.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, yeah, what do we know about the game, though? I don't even know what kind of game it is. And I'm not kidding when I say
Cyberpunk.
sci-fi, Keanu, Cyberpunk. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
That's basically what I know. Cyberpunk, Keanu, PC, sold.
I believe it's what I know, and again, I'm not an expert, but it's based on an RPG system. So there is a game system called Cyberpunk, a dice.
So is it a GTA kind of? I'm going to open world where I'm going to be able to run around, interact with cars, and
there's
vehicles and such.
Yeah, there's vehicles, there's motorcycles, there's. You haven't played the Batman games, but there's the detective modes where you can rewind scenes and figure out who murdered whom.
Okay.
So it's an RPG. You get levels, you get augments.
Oh, it's all about the levels. Have you actually specified that on this show before? I don't even know, but if it's unclear to anybody, it is all about the levels.
It is about the levels.
It always has been. Yes. It always will be.
Yes, I want all the levels.
Yes, if you wonder what I'm doing, I'm getting levels.
Getting levels, yep. I love levels. It's my favorite thing. When you level up, that's what gets you too. That's why I played at 4 a.m, because I'm like, just another 300 experience for the next level.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? I'm going to talk, and this wasn't even written down, but I'm going to talk about a game that I swear we've got to play. We've got to get you into it, but that would be Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Yes.
I think I've talked about it before a little bit. It's a strategy game.
Is that the one we played for a little bit?
We tried it once, but I think we were both hammered, and that didn't really go well because
Yeah.
we were both been drinking all night, and it's just strategy game and drinking not the way to go.
Yeah, I think I was locked into my little area and I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, because I chose a bad map. Now I recall. Yeah, we're gonna have to try that again though. Great game. Heroes 2 was fantastic too, as well.
I think I have that in GOG games. Heroes 3. I think I own that game.
And I'm not certain what led me down that path, but shout out to Heroes 3.
Yeah, shout out to Heroes 3. Came out 1996 or whatever.
It's definitely showing it's long in the tooth. But how did Cyberpunk lead me there? I guess
I don't know.
Maybe you know what it is. I'll listen to the show later and I'll be like, what was I thinking? But be that as it may. So levels. I know what it was. It's the Heroes 3 One More Turn.
One More Turn thing.
That's what happens with the strategy version of the RPG. Instead of one more level, it's I'm just going to do one more turn.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I've gone to work without sleep because of one more turn.
So from to answer your question, I think, and again, I've seen some footage, it does seem like it's a combination of Witcher 3 with Grand Theft Auto, because you do have the vehicles, but then it's a combination of more games. They're really going out there to put a lot in this game. It's supposed to be a living, breathing, dirty world, Blade Runner style.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's my game. It's really what kind of games I like.
You've been excited about this for like over a year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered immediately.
Yep.
Immediately. Before the Keanu reveal. But then I knew I was correct as soon as the reveal came across. I was like,
You've got a bad influence on me. I mean, I'm spending money now. I'm going to be pre-ordering this, and I'm entirely pre-ordering the remake of Tony Hawk 1 and 2. I mean, that's just a... yes, please.
Yes.
I'm doing that for PS4, though, even though I could do it for PC.
Why is that?
Just, I like the PS4. I like the controller. I mean, it just seems okay. It'll play on the PS5. I don't know. Yeah,
unless there's any kind of weird settings or mods you ever want to try, the PS4 is a good
The PC version will definitely be better, but honestly, I'd like to play it more on the PS4, I think, and then what I'll do is I'll end up buying it again because it'll be on super sale, and it'll be like $5, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, I'll be like, yep, good enough. And honestly, it's going to feel like tomorrow. If the game was originally put on a console, sometimes the port to the PCs break things and aren't quite right. Yeah. So sometimes, I don't know if Tony Hawk was originally ever on a PC, but I feel like it was originally on the PS1. So I feel like that sometimes things don't translate well to the they have trouble programming it for a PC. That was a system seller for me. For the PS1. Yeah. I wanted that game. That was good. Was it PS1? PS2? I think it was PS1.
I think
one
so.
of them.
It was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be in our top 101 list. We'll take a look.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, we haven't got down.
You know what? As much
We only
as I
recognize
love
half
Tony
the
Hawk,
games at this point.
not better than GoldenEye.
Not better than GoldenEye. GoldenEye is a great game. I agree. I do like GoldenEye.
So I'm excited about the Cyberpunk, even though it's funny because I think there's a lot of folks out there like me that are like sci-fi, Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
Keanu,
Yeah.
sign me up.
Yeah.
And
Augments. Yeah.
Then they come to the same conclusion I did. What exactly did I just sign up for?
Yeah. Like Deus Ex, they come out with, they're very cyberpunk games. And I played them, and the first Deus Ex got rave reviews, but I played it way too late, so I couldn't get into it.
I played a little bit of one, and it wasn't my jam necessarily.
Yeah, the second one was really good. I mean, really, really good. And it was the whole thing, Cyberpunk, you have augments you put on, you can punch through walls and rip people through them with your augmented arms and stuff like that because you can see through walls. So it's a really good game. Then they put out a new one that wasn't a big hit, even though it was beautiful, because they decided to not give it an ending at all. And it's like 3, 4, 5 years later, then it's still no ending. I hate that. I hate when game companies do that.
How do you not end? That's like us just cutting off the show right now.
Yeah,
like,
basically.
how do you do that?
Yeah, because they thought they would make $1 billion. They didn't. And they're like, well, I guess we're not making another game. Oh, thanks. So I own the game, but I have yet to play it because I'm not going to play it until somebody releases an extension to the story because I know it ends.
I didn't know that games could be canceled mid-season.
It actually happened to Mass Effect, the new one, Andromeda. The ending was a cliffhanger, which annoying, and that was a big controversy because for some reason BioWare broke the lip syncing and the facial animations in that game, so everyone made fun of the game. So
great.
It did not take off. It didn't have any original characters from the original game. It did not take off, and the game ended. And they're like, yeah, we made nothing, so if you want to see the rest of the story, buy the comic book. That's how Mass Effect ended. Yes.
That's something. It just
Yeah.
turned off the lights and went home.
It's a good... Don't get me wrong, Mass Effect Andromeda is a good game, but it's not a good Mass Effect game. And once you play Mass Effect 2, you'll understand.
I've made great progress.
Uh-oh.
I've installed Mass Effect 2.
Oh, nice! You
I've
gotta
not gotten beyond that.
You gotta make sure you get all the DLC materials put in there as well if you don't have it, because there's a bunch of DLCs. There's 20 of them.
I honestly don't know what I have. Quite certain I bought it on sale in some collection. So
yeah, if you make sure you have the DLCs and get all the DLCs, every one of them, they're all worth it, because they add more than just story elements. They add characters, so it's well worth playing.
I
with
got
all
you.
the DLCs.
Well, I'll get to it eventually. We'll get to that. We're gonna. Actually, I think we're almost ready. How long have we been talking?
815 seconds, which is...
Wow, is that useless?
Yes.
Thank you for that. That's like, when we're driving along sometimes. Kevin's done this to me. He's learned better, but I'm driving somewhere with Kevin one day, and he says, go up here and go head east.
Yeah, head east.
And I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, east? I can barely handle left and right. Give me one of them.
Yes.
East. What is 815 seconds?
According to this, it's 13 minutes.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say we've been talking longer than that, but that's okay.
Yes.
That one stumped me.
Maybe that's not seconds.
It doesn't matter, actually, but I want to bring up a point of clarification from one of our previous shows here. It's regarding a movie, and that movie would be the movie Enemy.
Oh, yes.
I just want to emphasize that was not a recommendation by us. That was an anti-recommendation. That movie broke my theory that things could suck so much that they'd become good because it found new depths. It just broke that whole theory. So just remember, that's the purpose of Enemy. If you're watching that movie, it's not going to be a pleasurable experience. You're doing it so you can realize, wow, things could suck more than I realized. Mm. So, with that all being said, Kevin.
34 minutes.
There we go. See, that makes more sense. That was going to drive you crazy, wasn't it?
It was bugging me. While you were speaking, I was like, okay, now I got to figure out how to change the software to show us the actual time recorded.
I lose track when we're doing this because, I mean, honestly, folks, we just added the microphone. We've been doing this for a long time. And,
Yes.
Having you guys with us is awesome. Can't emphasize enough how much fun this is for us. But Kevin and I were doing this without a microphone for a very long time.
It's crazy. Apart from us like condensing our conversations a little bit more, this is how we talk to each other.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, this is about the size of it. And again, it's cool to have everybody with us, though. Definitely like it. Definitely like hearing from you all. But now we're ready to what I'm calling the What Are You section, because that's what it's become.
What are you?
What are you?
What am I?
What are you playing?
Oh, what am I playing? Well, like I said, I just finished No Man's Sky. So my weekend project will be I want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Nice.
So I do want to play that.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. I think you'll like it.
And I do want to see if I can finish Zelda Breath of the Wild finally.
Nice.
Because I've been wanting to play that game, and I finally at a spot where I think I can actually do it.
I will say this about Final Fantasy VII Remake. It is like scoots and ladders. There's a lot of scoots. There's a lot of ladders. I mean, it is.
Well, there was in the original game too, which I also want to be clear. I've only played 1.2 Final Fantasy game, 1.3 Final Fantasy games. I played because I never played any before I met you. Yep. Then you said you got to play Final Fantasy VII, which I did and I loved. It was a great game. I think I grokked that game everywhere. I did everything you possibly could in that game.
Well, I wonder too. I was like, is this game actually good or is it just time in life? So that's why you are almost an experiment with Final Fantasy VII. Like, I love this game. Is it good?
Yeah, is it good? So I played it. I liked it. So I did play. After that, I played a little bit of Final Fantasy. I think 10.
Okay.
Just a little bit of it, just in the beginning, where you get attacked and.
By Sin, I think I've played as much as you have of that one. Yeah,
so that's all I played. So I might eventually go back to that one.
I would definitely. I just haven't gotten there yet.
And then I played the new one, Final Fantasy 15, and it was a gorgeous game, absolutely gorgeous. Couldn't get into it. Could not get into it. It was weird how you got into a car, you gave it the destination, and it would just self-drive itself. I'm like, in real time, and I'm like. Can I drive? I don't know.
So you're bored, actually. Like, you're sitting back in the car thinking, like, hey, I wish I had a Game Boy.
Yeah, and I hated every one of my companions. I absolutely hated every one of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're annoying. So I might go back and play that game, but I heard from many people that game is extremely disappointing.
Okay.
But I can see it was the precursor for the gameplay, because that's when they start changing it up, where it be semi-real time. You can still pause it. And I could see that was a precursor to how they built Final Fantasy VII Remake, because it looks like the battle system is similar.
I do wish they somehow had a way to make it completely turn-based again.
Yeah,
because I'm old school.
Yeah, old school, turn-based. Yeah, you want time to think about your actions.
Yeah, I want to decide: do I want to fight?
Yeah.
Or defend?
Yes. Yeah, because that's important. Depending on what you're fighting, But they wanted to add more real time to it, which I could tell that they started that with. So it's like I said, if you ever play Final Fantasy 15, if it comes on a $5 sale, it might be worth playing. Plus, it'll stress your computer like crazy because the game is like graphics up to to 11.
I'm like a hoarder, dude, when it comes to games. Like, I don't even know what Final Fantasies I have, but I have literally more than I've played. So I'll put it that way. There's just so many games, not enough time.
Not enough time, yeah. So if I don't get really into a game really quickly, it doesn't mean I won't go back to play it. But sometimes I need to take a break.
Yeah.
Because I had to take a break in the first Mass Effect, because the first Mass Effect is such a different game than the second game. I could not get into the first Mass Effect. It dragged. It had terrible systems in the game. The inventory system was garbage, and I didn't really care about the story. And then Mass Effect 2 came out, and I finished Mass Effect 1, I finished it, and Mass Effect 2 was already out, because that took me that long to play the game. The next one was already out. So I went right into the second game, and I'm like, oh, okay, BioWare's back. They're making a good game again.
Nice.
Bravo. They've lost that crown since then, but BioWare, bravo at that time.
There's an ebb and a flow to all major companies, it seems. Sometimes they're it's like a restaurant. Sometimes they have a cook that's just awesome, and then, you go back a couple months later, and it's just...
Yeah,
and not the same.
And there's none of the same cooks work there anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different company now. BioWare, I used to trust everything they released at one point. Everything they released, I loved it.
I hear you. And then one day not so much. It's tough. We're a fickle bunch.
Fickle.
Yeah, I'm. Well, again, I gave that Stanley Parable a try, but I have loaded and I'm trying out Fable, and haven't devoted much time to it. But definitely playing that, and believe it or not, I don't know if did we ever finally do the Luigi's Mansion 3.
We have
review?
not actually put out a review of that game yet.
I'm gonna give it. I can review it right now. I think.
Okay.
I can give it a 7.5 or an 8. I mean, it's a good game.
Oh, okay.
It's a good game for what it is. And granted, I don't have any experience with any of the other Luigi Mansions, so I can't compare them to that. It's just not my cup of tea. It's fun enough, and it's Nintendo, so it's freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
That's for certain. It's just Nintendo games are pretty for some reason. They look really good. There seems to be enough content to keep you entertained too, because I noticed that each level has these collectibles that you can either get or not, and it gives people that beat the game a chance to go and hunt those down. I haven't beaten the game yet, and I'm close. I'm probably halfway there. But I've got a good feel for the game, and again, it's well put together for what it is, just not my particular cup of tea. Probably still load it periodically, just for giggles. But and there are some multiplayer components that we should try.
Oh, okay.
But I'm pretty confident there's nothing that could happen for the last 50% of the game that would alter where I'm going to land on it,
Yeah.
One way or the other, positively or negatively. So.
Yeah, I played like about an hour of the game, and I knew it really wasn't my speed either.
Yeah.
But I will say that as far as Mario games go, so far I've played with the Mario Kart. That's a 10.
Oh yeah.
And then I started for a little bit. I'm not going to play it anytime soon, but I played about an hour of Mario Odyssey, and I'm like, this is like, I don't know if you ever play Mario 64, but it's like that, but better.
Nice.
But way better.
Yep.
So it just it feels more like a more freedom, that it's not clunky, very fluid. I can see going back and playing that game extensively because it's just fun. And
that's Mario, yeah.
It's
Mario.
And you throw your hat on things and you become that thing. And it's just like, that's a cool mechanism. I think it's neat.
Yep.
Because your hat's alive, and they show you in the intro why your hat's alive, because you lost your real hat. But that's
wow. It's very complicated.
It's very complicated.
It is in the world of Mario, and I suspect your princess is in another castle.
Yes, Bowser has Peach in a flying pirate ship, so yes.
It happens.
So that means she's never going to be in that castle. She's going to be floating away to some other castle.
Yeah.
So that's the way it goes with that one.
It often happens that way, but you can eventually catch up. So, what are you watching?
What am I watching? Nothing new. Pretty much I'm still trying to get through.
Monk?
I can't help it.
Nothing wrong with that?
So basically, my routine is, I watch Monk, watch a little bit of Hannah, and the latest.
You're into season 2 of Hannah now?
Yeah, I'm in the season 2 of Hannah.
Nice.
Great show, and I'm into the second season of the Twilight Zone, which I would put the first season of Twilight Zone in the bin, and just forget about it.
I may take you up on that because I love the OG black and white Twilight Zones. When I say I love them, I love them.
Yeah.
They're just awesome. Every Twilight Zone afterwards, I wanted to love the 80s version worse than bad. And The Dead did the intro. I wanted to love it worse than bad. And you know what was good about that show? The Dead did the intro. That's it.
That's it. And for even that is probably still an acquired taste. It's The Dead.
Exactly. Yeah. So I can't recommend it. I will definitely. I've got that. I think I have that recording. So I will check out season 2. Yeah. And because I really want that to work.
It does feel more like the original series. Where I felt the first season of Twilight Zone, I don't know if they're trying too hard or they were trying to make one big coherent, because it's really one big like overarching theme through the entire first season.
Oh, I see. Okay, so there's one big story to it. I see.
So you don't really. So it's worth watching the last episode, of the first season, so you can see everything put together, because they're basically they put it together where, like, did you notice this? Did you notice this? Did you notice this? Throughout the episodes.
Oh, I got you. So I got to go back. Maybe I'll go back and watch them all and see if I can find Waldo.
Yeah, basically it's Waldo in every episode. And I'm dead serious. It's Waldo, and at the last episode, like, did you see Waldo? And it was cool. It was a neat twist, but I think they were trying too hard to make it happen. It felt forced.
I got you, yeah.
It doesn't. Don't get me wrong. I get a little bit of chills watching it, It's worth watching the last
Yeah,
episode.
see, that's what I'm going for. I want I call it my brain melting, where it's just I see something and it can't process it fast enough, and I just love that. I love that feeling.
It may blow your mind the last episode. Like I said, they weren't. It's just a shame that they weren't quality episodes leading up into it. But the last episode was like, oh, okay, mind blown.
I gotta say too, shout out to Black Mirror season
Black Mirror.
1 and 2.
Yes.
I mean, that was just so special. The game show episode, like, just my brain will never grow back there. And the White Christmas special was just superior to everything I've seen. It was just so good.
Yeah, if you like watching shows where things get really bad, and then they get worse, and then they get much, much worse. That's a show for you.
The hits just kept coming in that episode.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah, you just don't see that because, like, oh my god, can it get any worse? Oh yeah, it can.
Like I said before, man, every time I think it can't get any worse, I just learn the really hard way that I just lack imagination.
Yeah, it's not even fair to call them twists. They're just revelations.
Yeah, they're just like hammers, one after another, like punches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we watched Watchmen.
Yes.
And great acting, I will say that. Great sets, great cast, great all in all. Didn't do it for me, really, at all.
Oh.
I think it was 10 episodes. We watched 8 of them saying, what the fuck is happening? Like, I have no idea what's going on here. Number 9 was like, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. And number 10, when we put a big bow on it, was...
Yeah.
Like, I knew how it was going to end. I literally told Mickles how it was going to end, like 2 scenes before they got to it.
I feel like what they're trying to make too many episodes out of a show when they have a story that's only good for like 3 episodes.
I think that's what they forgot on this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think they kind of skimped on the story. Like, I think, or maybe if you're a huge Watchmen fan, it was like the greatest thing in the world. I'm not, so I don't know it. But I feel like I was missing something.
Yeah.
I'll say it that way. But we kind of have an ace in the hole because we liked Umbrella Academy.
Oh, and that's already out, so you can binge that one.
Well, we're going to actually, I think we're going to go through season 1 again because I don't really remember it. I just remember it was good.
It was good.
And, so I'm looking forward to that, but we've not yet started that. So you hear anything new? You listen to anything good?
No. Unfortunately, staying inside all this time, I haven't really been listening to music.
I'd imagine that goes for a lot of people, though. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, NPR, huge NPR fan. Shout out to NPR. NPR is really hard for me to listen to because I don't drive to work.
Yeah.
And that's when I drove to work. And I loved NPR because I drive to work with NPR on. No idea what's going on. I'm just in a coma driving to work. I don't even have any idea where I am. And then later in the day, people would talk about current events. I'd be like, oh, I know something about that. No, I know about that, too, because my brain would absorb it, even though I wasn't even barely conscious.
When I turn on my Pandora, I do have a channel I turn on lately, and they're a band that I'm sure you'll hate, but they're called AWOL Nation, and they're kind of like they're a guilty pleasure for me. They're not. I wouldn't call them Imagine Dragon. That's an insult, but I imagine their sound might be. You might consider it similar.
For clarity's sake, it's an insult to AWOL Nation, right?
Yes. AWOL Nation is superior to Imagine Dragons, and I like them, but I could see I don't know if I wouldn't say they're an acquired taste, but they're kind of weird. So, and I like that they're weird because I like that their songs.
I think I've heard something by them in your car before, actually, but I'll have to check them out. I'm really not that familiar.
Yeah, you can't listen to one of their songs. And I could say you could probably say that for a lot of bands, and have a good feel of the band.
Sure.
Like Nathaniel Rateliff, you listen to one of his songs, you kind of get the feel for him.
Vibe for it, yeah.
This is one of those bands where you have to sample like 3, 4, 5 songs to get the feel of them because they got some songs where they just swear the whole time. They got songs where that's more like.
Now we're speaking my language.
Yeah, now you're speaking a language. They got songs that are more like huge, bombastic, radio friendly songs. They got other songs that's not so radio friendly. They're all over the place.
It sounds interesting.
They're interesting, and they can sound heavy metal sometimes. They don't give a fuck. Basically, they don't.
Great. I think this is the first time you cursed on the show. Did you guys hear it?
I know it kind of hurt to say.
I heard it loud and clear.
I don't really swear in my life that much. I don't.
I only do it when I'm awake.
Yes, I know.
That's not true. I'm certain I curse in my sleep.
Yeah, I'm sure you do too. I'm sure. You got Tourette's.
Yeah, I pretty much do. I curse a lot. I decided one
Yeah.
year as a New Year's resolution I was going to watch my mouth, and for a whole year I did, and it is filthy.
Yeah, it's filthy.
It's just, I curse a lot.
Yeah, I know.
But,
See, I curse so little, you have to like stop and say, "Hey, you know you just cursed, right?"
I'm like that George Carlin bit. I put
Yes.
fuck word, I put the F in the middle of words.
Yes.
You know, unfucking believable. They said that earlier today.
It is amazing, the F word, yes.
Yeah, sometimes I just gotta, normal language isn't. I can't get enough F words in. I gotta start slipping in the middle of things.
It is an awesome word.
Under the heading of we listen to very, very different things, although we are kind of melding a little bit in that regard. I've got a recommendation for folks, and that is definitely something I jam to. It won't be everybody's jam, but Gregory Alan Isaacoff. Yeah, exactly. That's a mouthful.
It sounds like he's in a ballet.
He's I would call him a folk singer.
Oh.
Specifically, songs, I wrote down 3 of them. Big Black Car, I think that's the first song I heard by him. Loved it. Time Will Tell. That one blows my mind. Apparently it was in a Subaru commercial, because I'm listening to my Pandora station and that song comes on, and my sister-in-law and shout out to Bob Barrel. My sister-in-law and my wife are in the car, and I'm like, man, I love this song, and they're like, oh, this is from a Subaru commercial.
Oh boy.
I'm like, oh, that hurts my feelings.
That sounds like something I say about movies.
Yeah, pretty much. But lastly, Saint Valentine by him. Also love that. I love a lot more of his stuff, but just trying to give an example of what kind of led me to him. You'll more or less know right away, though, if he's your jam or not.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I can't help it. I like easy listening.
Easy listening.
Yeah.
Lionel Richie, yeah. I can see it.
Yeah, I
Hello.
do have the. I grew up in the '80s, dude. I don't know what to say. It's like a compartmentalized brain. I recognize on one hand how much the '80s and everything from it sucked, and I love it.
Wow.
It's just a duality. It's amazing.
Would you say you had an aha moment?
Exactly. There you go. That's fantastic.
Sorry.
It hurts.
It hurts.
Those brain cells don't grow back.
Yeah.
But I've got a challenge for you, actually.
Oh, boy.
But before we get into that, I wanted to give a few shout-outs, and I know you have a few shout-outs. So I'm going to lead the charge and just say a huge shout-out to Taman for all the feedback, and he made a recommendation for us. So, and this is my style of recommendation, folks. Taman clearly understands me. And the recommendation was Warframe. I know nothing about the game, so we're going to have to research that a little bit. But my understanding is Warframe cost exactly nada.
Oh.
So I saved up.
There's a check.
And I'm going to buy you one, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buy me one.
Yeah, exactly. So Warframes for both of us. But yeah, it's a free game, so I think we should be able to try that sometime in the near future. And again, we've just got a never-ending list of games.
Well, I think it checks all your box, because according to this, it says there is no story. Or there is a story, but you can just skip it.
That's generally what happens anyway.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your favorite part of the game.
I just make up my own story as I go.
That's true.
And the story usually goes something like this. Oh, my objective is to kill everyone.
Yeah, kill everyone. Or sometimes your objective is as you're getting skipped.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, they're all infected. They gotta go.
Yes, they must all go.
That's great. So, Taman, seriously, thank you for all the feedback. And you mentioned another couple games, too. And one we've not talked about yet, but I know it's very popular. You mentioned the Devil May Cry series. And,
yes.
Again, I have very, very limited experience with that. But, it didn't seem bad.
Yeah.
Just didn't seem my jam. But at the same token, should I encounter that again, especially on sale, may give those a try. But you also mentioned Bayonetta. And I believe there's 2 of those, actually. I think Bayonetta 2 is already out, or has been for some time.
I think they're similar games.
They probably sell in the same vein, somehow.
Yeah,
related.
probably, yeah.
But I don't really know anything about them other than they seem to be a shooter-type, action-type thing, and they're very popular. People seem to like them a great deal.
Yes, they do. And I played a few minutes of a demo once of one of the Devil May Cries, and it was a pretty game. And you had a lot of skills and ways to fight, and it seemed very interesting.
Yeah. Again, just so many good games and not enough time. So again, though, we'll keep it in mind and give these a try. And when opportunity presents for the ones that cost money. But I think Warframe, we should be able to try it out in the near future. Because again, I bought us both a copy.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's reserved for you, buddy. So I know you had a shout out.
Yes, I had a shout out to Bill. I did speak with him today, and he said not only is he going to try watching the movie Enemy,
Bad idea, Bill, but
yeah.
do you think?
He also wants to play the was it Deku Literature Club or
the Doki
Doki
yeah,
Doki Literature,
yeah, there's DOKI.
Yeah, DOKI. So he said he wanted to try that out. So yeah, so definitely a big shout out to Bill for all his positive feedback he gave me earlier today. I really do appreciate it.
Bill, before you just think we're completely off our rocker, you got to make it to the recital. You can't just start Doki and say no because you're just not getting the experience. You got to suffer through, and believe me, it is suffer through.
Yes.
There is a skip option for a lot of the text. It's not. You can use that liberally, I'll say. It's not going to really take too much away from the experience.
Yeah, and I would say that they do have an 18-year-old disclaimer for a reason, so definitely not have your kids around.
That is a very good piece of advice, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. To any kids that are listening now, seriously, where your parents, you should not be listening to us. It's a bad idea.
Yes.
Talk like a sailor.
Actually, yes, we should have a disclaimer, and I think we do have a disclaimer on our show. Yeah, you must be crazy to listen to us.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a bad idea. I don't recommend it, but I'm glad you're with us at the same token.
Thank you. I love you.
Being crazy is more fun with company.
It is.
That's what it boils down to. But
is it crazy it loves company? No, I'm sorry, that's misery. Anyway.
Oh boy. No, I'm afraid. So locking my door.
Yes.
But my challenge for you, we're doing this top 100 list as a bonus thing, which we're going to try and get back to soon, which got me thinking. One, lists are fun. Lists of anything just seem to be a hoot. I'm having a great time, and it's sparking such good conversation. But I want to, and this is not fair. I don't like this, for the record. I do not enjoy this exercise at all. And I'm somewhat cheating because I've already started. But I challenge you to make a top 10 game list. All time, any system. And the only thing I ask is make it personal.
Oh, you know what?
So it's not the best of all time. It's the best games for you. Actually, better yet, I want to rephrase that. You can only play 10 games for the rest of your life. That's it.
Yes.
What games are they?
Well, my games will be right, and your games will be wrong.
You've been around me too long, but yes.
I learned it from you.
I mean, I'm asking you to make the list so I can compare it to mine. Grade it.
Grade it. It's like, nope, wrong. What is this crap?
Oh, that's great. You'll be pleased to know there's no need for speeds on my list yet.
Oh, I'm shocked. There's got to be some racing game on there.
I made the top 10 greatest games ever list. Maybe you know what? I'm challenging you to 2 lists.
Yeah.
Make the top 10, your top 10 greatest games ever.
Yes.
Any system that you played. But again, the emphasis here is to you. They're not to anybody else necessarily.
Yes.
You might not even recommend some of them, but for you.
For me.
And then, so that would be the list number 1. And then, what is our second list here? I just said it.
Was it worst?
No. That would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I want to find a list of worst games ever.
Top 10 greatest games for me personally.
Yeah, the top 10 greatest games for you personally. Boy, I'm just not with it tonight. I don't know where my head is at. And we're going to do another top 10 games, I guess, of all time.
Of all time. So.
Oh no, that's what it was. I'm sorry. No, the challenge was you can only play 10 more games.
Oh, if you only play 10 more games, what would they? So is this 2 lists?
2 lists. Yep.
Top 10 games of any system and top 10 games.
Yeah. So the top 10. Yeah. Boy, I wish I articulated that better. My notes were sloppy, guys. My apologies. But we're going to have 2 lists. So the first is the top 10 games to you. Like just what you think the top 10 games of all time were, and then the second is you can only play 10 games. The rest of your life.
That's the desert island kind of scenario.
Exactly, with high-speed internet and electricity.
yes. But that's what that game is.
It's my kind of. It sounds like paradise.
But that does make the list different.
Exactly. There is a distinction there. Yeah.
Yes, because I could say this is a top 10 game of all time. It's an awesome game, but am I going to play this the rest of my life?
Exactly. Well, again, though, we're not even doing the top 10 games of all time either, though. We're doing the top 10 games for your life. So, like Kevin Yuki's top 10 games in my life. Yes. So I'll give you an example. I think Dragon Warrior might be on mine from the original Nintendo.
Yes.
That is not making the top 10 games ever list. Just not making it. It's not anywhere near it.
Yeah, same thing could probably be said for like Shenmue, where I think that could be in somebody's top 10 list of games that you should play, but am I going to play the rest of my life? Hell no.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So, and then same with just creating a top 10 games list for me. So again, They're top 10 greatest games of all time versus top 10 games that meant something to me, I guess.
Yeah.
Two entirely different lists.
Yeah.
And likewise, top 10 games that I'd be willing to play the rest of my life. That's yet another list.
Yeah.
So right now I'm challenging you to 2 lists. I'll give you a week.
Give me a week. Yes. Yes, next Thursday we'll record something.
Exactly.
Yes.
Again, everybody, can't thank you enough for joining us. All those tutors out there contacting us, we love it. Can't get enough of this, and we're going to keep these shows going. We're having a great time, and glad to hear some of you are. And for those of you that are listening and haven't commented, again, we'd love to hear from you. Again, this is all about being together, having people with us, and joining in on the fun. So, Kevin, before we wrap up, now that I've kind of teased everybody, how do they contact us?
Easily. You can email us at tootcast.net. You can find us on our website at tootcast.net. And you can tweet us at tootcast. So, and there's other ways to reach us, and all the ways are listed right on our website. So head to our website if you're not sure what to do. There are links everywhere.
That is fantastic. Well, again, Kevin, thank you for all those efforts.
You're welcome.
And this is Sean.
This is Kevin.
And this is The One Other Thing.
Good night.